this is. Although the medium intelligent person thinks like that. Oh, here's another religion. Yes, another tradition. They're all basically the same. And it's true, organizations are basically the same. They run by the same principles and the same functions. But an organization based on the absolute truth is different, because by associating with the absolute truth, we rediscover our eternal existence and our perfect body. However, those of medium intelligence, they can't see this. They can only see the external view that, oh, there's some meetings, there's a temple, there's some services going on, some chanting, and we don't know what it is, strange language and all. But so I guess it's just another religion. But then there's the really intelligent people, people who have a background in Vedic spiritual thought, people who have a background in epistemology and ontology and know what these things are, know their value. Now, when they come across this esoteric teaching, you can tell because they take the time to examine it deeply. They don't just go take a surface look at it. They go back in the lab and they take it apart. They analyze it. And the first thing that anyone who understands philosophy and epistemology will see is that this esoteric teaching is a very carefully constructed semantic system designed to impart certain ontological truths, and that because of the language that we use and the style of presentation that we use, we can actually change a person's consciousness by changing their ontology, their background knowledge, their picture of how the world works, their mental background orientation that helps them evaluate and value their different experiences and thoughts. So someone who actually knows what is ontology, what is epistemology, someone who actually knows semantics, general semantics, things like that, when they encounter this esoteric teaching, they go, oh, this is something special. This is something new. It's very valuable. It's never been seen before. Well, why do they think like that? Because they know the tests. Just like the gemologist, he took the stone back in his lab and made all kinds of tests. So he could say, oh, okay, this is an extraordinary stone. The average person doesn't have that kind of facility, that kind of knowledge, that kind of background. So we find that most of our really dedicated students are people with a lot of education in Sanskrit and Vedic thought, people who have extensive background in philosophy, who've studied different languages, maybe they've traveled around the world, been a student of meditation for many years, and are looking for the thing that's going to bring it all together. And that is this esoteric teaching. Yes, we have practices, we have different services and different activities and like that, but that's not really the essence of this teaching. The real essence of the esoteric teaching is in its ontological framework, the map that ties it all together. In other words, what some people regard as the entire teaching of the Vedas is actually just one little corner of that teaching. They don't realize that there's a huge expanse, a huge ontological space of teaching that is created by the Vedic literatures that the actual extant Vedic literature doesn't even really touch. And this is brought out in the writings of the architects of the esoteric teaching, who lived about 500 years ago in Bengal, India, and they were the 6 Goswamis. They're kind of famous, so you may have heard of them. They created a series of writings that they didn't invent the Vedic ontology, but they brought it out, they amplified it, and they made it very specifically ontological. Before that, the ontological nature of the Vedic writings was practically hidden. and very few people even understood what ontology was. But these devotees, these scholars, were very intelligent, very insightful, and they also had the guidance and association of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the incarnation of God, Krishna, for the Kali Yuga, the age that we're now in. So because they were associated with him, they got special insight and special inspiration, special mercy and special facilities that most people don't have. Therefore, they were able to take the ancient Vedic writings, especially the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Vyasadev's own commentary on his own Vedanta Sutras, and they were able to explain these ancient writings in a very scientific way. Scientific means according to ontology. Really, what is science but the creation of specialized ontologies for particular subject matter? For example, let's take chemistry. If you go in any chemistry lab, you'll see a big chart called the periodic table of elements. And what is the periodic table? It's nothing but a map. Here are all the elements. These are their chemical properties, bonding properties, their metallic properties, and so on and so forth, atomic weights, yada yada. Okay, what is this? It's a map. It's a map that shows you what you can expect when you start playing around with these substances. A map is an ontology. An ontology is a map that gives you a view of an area that you cannot see just by your senses. Okay? If I'm playing around with some chemicals in the lab, I can't see the valences and the different chemical properties and stuff like that. Not directly. But if I know my periodic table, I know basically what I can expect. Similarly, if I'm driving in the car, I can't see more than maybe a mile ahead. But if I have my map, I know that, 5 miles ahead, there's a particular turnoff that I have to take. So in spiritual life also, it's very difficult to see what is ahead. What is the landscape? Which way do I have to turn to reach my goal? Therefore, I need a map. And this map is the esoteric teaching. That's what it is. Now you can take this map and you can plan a trip anywhere, depending on your particular spiritual goal, your particular favorite form and method of worship of God. This is your spiritual destination. So you can take the map of the esoteric teaching, and from this map you can derive many different religions, many different spiritual practices and paths. And this is exactly what has been done with the Vedas. The Vedas are like a map of the spiritual possibility space. And from this map, many, many different religions and spiritual practices have been derived. So you might say, and that is so valuable, just a map? Well, yes, because you cannot navigate without a map. As any good pirate knows, the map shows the location of the treasure, the buried treasure. Here the buried treasure is your perfect body, your eternal existence, and your eternal happiness. So we're here to help you find that perfect body. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of My Perfect Body. This is David Hughes, your host, reminding you to visit us on the web at esotericteaching.org, where you can purchase the complete Esoteric Teaching Introductory Seminar DVD and many CDs of transcendental music and mantras.